Hey everybody, I'm Kyle Miller and I am the owner and driver of the Valor Racing 959 car.
And I'm Josh, I'm the co-driver.
And we have just completed the 2018 Best in the Desert UTV Winter Nationals. It's the Casey Folks Parker 250. And we're here to talk to you about it. So it is the first race of the year for the Best in the Desert series. We are super excited about this race. There was over 120 UTVs entered for this desert race portion of it. And we have made a few updates to the car in preparation for this season. One of the items we did was added the S&B particle separator. Hopefully that'll keep our air system running a lot cleaner. We've had problems in the past with our air filters getting clogged, so we're really excited to try this out. What else did we add, Josh?
We added the rear camera, just a stock camera that you have a screen in the camera so you can see behind you.
Yeah, really cool for looking to see if people are coming up behind you. A lot of times the mirrors can be difficult to look through when you're looking through all the window nets and the visibility can be bad. So we've got a nice LCD screen that we can look behind and see if anybody's coming up behind us. So we arrived in Parker, Arizona. Beautiful weather. It's going to be in the mid-70s for this race, and we were super stoked. Race day, we line up. There is a giant line of cars that goes as far back as you can see. It was pretty incredible to be there for this. Made me a little bit nervous knowing that I have all these people behind us. Our start position was 32nd, so we were the 16th row to leave the line. I know pulling up to the line seemed like a lot of people weren't really on the lights very hard, so I made a really mental note that I wanted to get a good light per se. So we watched carefully, the light turned green, boom, we were off, hammered down. We jumped the car beside us quite a bit off the start, and by the time we left the infield section we probably had a 100 to 200 yard lead on them. It was fairly significant.
We were moving.
Yeah, we hit the straight sections and we were cruising. The car was working phenomenal, soaking up all the bumps really well. Just right off the get-go had a blast. The dust conditions were, it was pretty dusty. It hasn't rained in Parker in quite a while, so you could tell that this was going to be one of those races where we're fighting dust. But we made a pass pretty early on, and then we turned onto what is for us the infamous power line road.
Power line road.
And it is foot to the floor. We are feeling great. This is our third race that we're doing, and we're ready to have a good result. So Josh is calling out dangers for us, or turns, and we're cruising. One of the dangers that was listed on the sheet was guide wires for all the telephone poles, so we were trying to be aware of that.
Yeah.
And of course we saw a car coming in the dust, so we knew we were coming up on somebody pretty quick. So again, that gets the adrenaline going. It was foot to the floor trying to catch that car. At the end of the power line road, or what we didn't realize was the end of the power line road, you basically go through the center of the power line poles, and we did not know that there was a giant downhill on the other side. So by the time our vision caught that there is no more horizon left, we are launching at 70 miles an hour over the top of this hill. The first thing I thought was, well, this isn't what was planned for. So we hit pretty hard. There was a berm on the left-hand side as soon as we impacted that immediately kicked the car up and caused it to corkscrew, and we tumbled about 300 feet in distance and down the cliff about 100 feet. So yeah. Ended our day pretty quickly. The first thing I thought of when we got to the bottom was, great, there are a lot of cars coming behind us, and I think we were on the race course. So did not want to get hit while we were already wrecked. So after making sure that Josh was okay, we scrambled to try to get out of the car. Luckily there was quite a few photographers there that were able to help us out, and they helped get us out of the car. Yeah. That's my perspective. I don't know, Josh, what was going through your head when you...
So when we turned onto the power line road, I noticed on the map that it said danger guide wires, and then I saw an orange sign on one of the power lines, you know, danger. And so I'm thinking power, or the guide wires, and so I'm up looking for guide wires, and I see on the sheet, or on the map, that it's pretty open, and so I just tell him open and danger guide wires. So I'm looking, we see up ahead there's 3 power line poles, and to me it looked like the road went around it and then turned. And so I told him, I was like, I think it goes around, so go wide. And then I noticed that there's 2 signs on the inside on the left poles. And so I told Kyle, I was like, just shoot straight through. And that's whenever I looked down, course turned right. And so I was, this close to telling him that it turns right. And that's when I look up and the ground disappears and we go sailing off. So I was, when I was looking up, I was looking for guide wires. I had no idea. I just assumed that the ground was flat. My first thought whenever we were flying is, I was like, crap, this is not good. And then we hit the first one and I was like, oh, he can pull, like, he can save us. Like, I had total confidence that he was going to save us until we started rotating sideways. And I was like, okay, we're done. And then as we're rolling through, I noticed the GoPro and I was like, oh no, my GoPro. I actually worried about the GoPro for a second. We just kept rolling and I kept thinking like, man, we are still rolling. It is not stopping. And finally we stopped and he told me to, like, first he checked to make sure I was okay. And then I told him that we were okay and he told me to hit on the racing tracks, that were, the hazard button. And at first I couldn't figure out what it was, so I'm sitting there looking at it and I was like, whatever, and I just hit all the buttons because I just assumed I was like, ah! And so yeah. After that we got out. I was a little heated at first, but calmed down and realized the situation. I was like, all right, we're good, we're fine. And then that's when we started figuring out what we needed to do.
It's just one of those moments where we're inexperienced and huge learning lesson for us. As far as the car goes, took a lot of damage, as you guys probably have seen from some of the footage. This chassis was one that we designed and built ourselves, and we are very thankful it held up. It did its job amazingly well. Very minimal damage to the tube work. Nothing around us as occupants, mainly just to the front suspension area and the rear suspension area. So hopefully it's our goal to have this back and going by the mint. We'll see if we can turn this thing around that fast.
It doesn't look as bad as it looks.
Yeah, we thought it was totaled at first, but I think we'll come out.
I think it's salvageable.
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 So.
Yeah, we're also perfectly fine, as you can see.
Yep.
We had some minor, like our necks are pretty sore, our knees were banged up. But besides that, I mean, this is the 3rd day after the race, and we're pretty good.
We have walked away, so
we have walked away completely
grateful. So we want to thank all of our sponsors, HMF Racing. They provide a really phenomenal exhaust system. I've used them for years, and their customer service is second to none. It's so rare in this industry to be able to find a company that you can call, talk to somebody on the phone, and be willing to help, answer emails. HMF Racing is that company. I've used, like I said, I've used their exhaust for years, and I don't want to leave them even if I wanted to, because their customer service is phenomenal. HiLiTES the same way. They make a phenomenal product, high quality, does its job, great people to work with. RT Pro, their suspension kit that they gave us, I love the fact that it extends the wheelbase. I think it makes our car handle so much better. They've also done a lot of the shock springs and tuning for us. XLR Industries, that's my personal company, so my company supports us, obviously. Some of the finest rifle chassis products on the market. Ballistic Trailers, that is a new trailer company coming. That is UTV specific, so stay tuned for those in the future. And finally, last but not least, we want to thank God. Without Him, none of this is possible. He has blessed our lives so much by providing us this opportunity to live this dream. We're here because of Him. And obviously, if you've watched this race footage, everybody's like, how did you guys walk away from that? Hey, that's God's hand protecting us. So real quick, Micah 7:8 says, our enemies have no reason to gloat over us. We have fallen, but we will rise again. We are in darkness now, but the Lord will give us light. Obviously, this result for this race is not what we wanted or what we expected, but we've learned from it and we will come back stronger. And that same principle that is stated in this verse applies to life. Whether you're having a difficulty achieving a dream or a goal, or maybe it's a relationship, and you feel beat down, your enemies are standing over you, and that could be anything from social media to family members or even friends. Basically, anybody who doubts you and tries to tear you down. But with God's help, you can rise above whatever struggle you have. And a lot of times we feel like we're alone out there in the desert or in life in general, and the darkness surrounds us. But in reality, God is light, and He is there all the time. He's there for us every day, and we're super thankful. So thanks for watching our video. Stay tuned for the next one, and hopefully we'll have a lot better result.
All right, God bless everyone.